lady is the one who kind of co-hosts the show or hosts the show, and Anton is kind of there to be like a moderator, but he also gives his opinion. And I want you guys to hear what they felt about the blackout from Black people. So let's see.
Do you think she's right? Do you think that people should band together and have a blackout? Would it be impactful to society?
I mean, it was impactful before. It made an impact before once upon a time. So I think back then when it didn't make an impact, Black people as a whole were just more unified. We had more of a purpose to want to progress as a community. So it was a lot easier for us to get on the same page and sacrifice things for the long term, for the greater good. I don't think that's where we are now. But I know if if we did get on the same page, we could make an impact because it's already happened. Our dollar is powerful, and with these next generations, if you withhold that dollar in exchange for them to do right by you, it can work. It has worked before. So.
Jazz,
I
your mic.
think that, sorry.
No, but go ahead. Anybody agree or disagree with her?
I absolutely disagree. I feel like one day is not enough. And then number two, for us to boycott certain stores because DEI initiatives were pulled back, we look like a joke as a whole, as Black people, for thinking that that is something we need to defend. First of all, DEI does nothing for us as a whole. And secondly, just because Target is no longer required to hire a transgender lady with blue hair and a plastic penis does not mean that I should not go shop in that store because that person cannot get a job showing up the way that they present themselves. Additionally, again, we have boycotted in the past and it has made a difference, but things like the Montgomery bus boycott lasted over a year. That's how you make a difference. So unless we're going to not shop at Target for a year, unless we're going to not shop at any of these businesses for a year plus until they, I guess, bring back DEI, then again.
So you kind of can't see her face, but that's Michaela Montgomery right there. She's the same female who actually spoke for Donald Trump when she met him at Chick-fil-A when he was out doing his rounds, doing his campaigning. Down below is Jazz. Jazz is a very pro-Black advocate. She's all about, the pro-Black stuff, which is cool. But Michaela made a great point, and it was the same point that I was trying to make to you guys on previous episodes of my podcast, is that these things that we're doing for a short period of time, a day, 24 hours, that stuff means nothing. We continue to compare history without knowing the facts of what happened. These boycotts went on very long periods of time when people boycotted certain things. And we're not going to even get into, even when we did have our own, we started separating. We wanted what the other man had. If you think about the Negro League baseball, we had our own MLB. We had some of the greatest talent in the world, but we wanted to integrate and we wanted to do things. And now it seems like we don't want to integrate anymore. It seems like now that we all are together, we now are trying to separate ourselves again. But I'm going to let them finish up so you guys can hear some more.
And us not shopping for a day did nothing but make it easier for white people and others to shop in peace. No long lines. That's what I appreciated that day.
Well, it wasn't just for that one day. There was actually a plan for other days to make an impact as well. It wasn't just that one day. There were several other days that.
And I apologize. That's Jazz's feedback from her phone. So
they had planned to do this boycott, etc. I don't disagree with what you're saying. It definitely takes more than just a day, but I know particularly for this boycott, they did have other days planned out to boycott as well. So, I mean, we got to start somewhere as Black people. What do you guys think would have been a better thing for us to do in this moment?
Jazz,
boycott single parenthood.
One second, Victor. Jazz, leave and come back because your mic got static. Like, I don't know if it's okay. Just leave and come back. Go ahead, Victor.
Boycott single parenthood. We need to work on fixing our homes and communities first to have a legitimate impact on anybody's financial market. Like, if you want to impact something economically, you need to do it as a community and then be able to draw everybody out. This is how you pick your politicians. This is how lobbyists put their voting blocks together. And you need to have a defined left and right boundary. If you're going to boycott, like you said, it was significant dates that might have been lined up or whatever. But like, if you decide to boycott from like November to February, something that you can actually measure and pivot off of, then you have some metrics to work off of. And you're definitely going to need a sustained effort from a large group of people. I think the Montgomery bus boycott lasted 3 years, if I'm not mistaken. It's going to take a whole lot of different commitment, you know what I'm saying, in order for someone to see a sustained economic impact. And based on the fact that Black people make up, 14 to 16% of the population, what market, we got to start where we can have the most impact. And I believe that if you could do that more effectively if you own your communities, if you have the right kind of leadership, you know, in your own household. You can't do that without men. I don't think that.
And he's making some great points there because we don't talk about that enough. And this is the saying that I say, and it was a saying by Malcolm X actually, is that we're in the middle of the ocean worrying about the people in the tub. Let me say that again. We're in the middle of the ocean worrying about the people in the tub. We are the only race who continues to be drowning, continue to be fighting uphill, and we continue to worry about what's going on over there, and all those people got to do is stand up. And that's the biggest frustration for me. I guarantee if you polled 80% of African Americans who are now conservative, they all at one point used to be Democrats. They used to be liberal. But you know why they changed their thought process? It's because they seen what happens when you support your own. They weren't getting any positive feedback from their own people. Just like even here on YouTube, you guys can disagree, but you just won't hit a like button. You'll come on and take the time out to watch something, but you just can't hit a like button. You can't share. You can't have responsible, open conversation without insulting someone. You will tell somebody that you're not providing any information, but your comment provides no information. So it's just one of those things that I think he's very correct. I think the way you raise your family, having two-parent homes, even if not two-parent homes, having great co-parenting situations can improve our economy.
That you can have any type of movement that's credible without men in the front.
The movement started by a white man. That's the one.
And that's the other part. And what I'm saying is that's the other part of what I'm about to say too. This movement wasn't what was something else. Black people kind of like jumped in it with another agenda, because this was about an economic blackout, right? From the People's Union, a dude named was John Schwartz or something like that, 57-year-old guy. And he was talking about making an economic impact or whatever. But like from where I've seen, and correct me if I'm wrong, the people that have been talking about the boycott of it the most have been making it more about a Black issue more than the economic issue than anything.
I think this whole thing is dumb. Like, just like dumb. People boycotted. What was that brand? The B brand, the fancy brand with the kids.
Balenciaga.
People boycotting, they're back wearing it. It's like, so y'all not going to shop for one day and then go right to Target the next day. Make it make sense. Like, I think I was having this conversation at the gym a couple days ago. I'm like, it's dumb. Y'all going to go back shopping at Amazon and whatever stores y'all shop at, and it's going to get back money no matter what. Right. So it's like, to me, it's dumb. Once again, Black people are following a white man, feminist movement. Same thing happened. Like, it just, I feel like it makes people look dumb doing it.
There's no credibility.
I think it's it's a few things. First, I had a couple of things. First of all, why are we still listening to Al Sharpton? And second of all, if this was a real movement, and if he was really trying to support the Black community, whatever they call themselves doing, and he gave all them gift cards away, why would he take them to Costco? Why wouldn't he take them to support Black own businesses. Why wouldn't he? I mean, if that was the whole goal, like it don't even make sense. People just, I don't know. And then like you said,
So think about that. And I don't know if you guys heard about that. That Al Sharpton them gave out all like the gift cards so that people could shop at Costco's. But like she said, why not support Black-owned businesses? And all you're gonna hear is crickets. All you're gonna hear is that, I'm a good old boy, and these people, they aren't Black. They don't understand. People already hate Anton. Anton was one of the people who really opened my eyes to what was going on in the world, in society. I already kind of was abreast to it, but I wasn't where I am today. And I definitely understand that we have a long, long, long way to go. Long, long, long way to go. So I'm gonna play a little bit more of this, and then we're gonna move on to the next thing.
piggybacking off you, like if you're gonna do something, like I don't mind, like if you're gonna spend your money or boycott, like you say, it's gotta be for something tangible. Like for me, until y'all focus on these kids out here dropping, I don't believe you. I just don't. I ain't gonna never believe you. I'm not gonna never believe you genuine as long as I hear people steady hollering about things that's just not really priority right now. I think y'all silly, actually.
Jazz is the only one that partake into this blackout. I know it's somebody else. What are y'all scared?
I mean, I understand everyone's viewpoint. I don't totally disagree. For me, it was just trying to see Black people come together on something, you know.
Why do y'all always need a community before you like do something right? Like, why do y'all need a cosigner? Why do you need a group to put a battery in y'all back before y'all learn to think for yourself? Why are we like? Why is the culture always focused on what somebody else is telling you to do instead of them thinking for themselves?
Man, Anton just asked every question that I just said. And also on my previous episode, I talked about something that Marcellus Wiley said. Some of y'all are a relay team, and some of y'all are individual runners. And some of y'all need a relay team because you'll never win a race by yourself. And he just asked that question. Why do we have to have some type of campaign, some type of push, some slogan to do things that are right or that you feel is going to make things better? That's where we're failing in society. We have no vision. We have no vision in the African American community. And the ones who do have a vision for themselves or have a vision, we get called names. We are outsiders. We're going to be isolated. We're going to be on this island by ourselves. But it's okay because I can swim. And when I get to safety, I'm going to save myself.
Like all of the talking points, the way that we talk, the way that we communicate, and it's so funny because the people that always talk about Black people coming together a lot of times disassociate themselves with other Black people that think differently than them, that would actually empower them and allow for them to actually make more of an impact in whatever it is that they need, right? So if you're talking about representation, for example, diversity, equity, and inclusion, they don't want Black Republicans, for example. You know what I'm saying? They don't want people that speak differently than them. They don't want people that could bring back information based off of lived experiences that may be completely different from being raised in a hood. And I just think that you just got to disband this whole thing. We've been doing the same, and not me as an Anton, but as a culture, been doing the same shit for longer than I've been alive. And we conveniently get worse and worse off as a community. We've been saying the same Black Panther bullshit since the beginning of time, and collectively we are worse off than ever before when you compare yourself to the rest of the demographics that we then separate ourselves from. Like it would seem like we would come up with something else and be like, you know what? That shit ain't working. This shit ain't working. The way that we vote ain't working. The way that we me to ourselves and attach ourselves to some movement that don't even mean shit, that we don't even know where it came from, ain't working. Like we keep doing the same thing over and over and over again. And it will behoove you to say, you know what? I don't want to do that no more. Because usually the people that then say, you know what, I want to break away from this, those are the ones that break out and take off and do really, really well and be successful. I don't understand the mindset behind like the follower mentality and an inability to be able to educate ourselves and think for ourselves.
Most people don't have a solution. They just got a complaint and an observation and a criticism. But when you start talking like solutions oriented people, those are the first people to get excommunicated, like you were talking about before. Like, because nobody wants to hear what it really takes to solve a problem, and then really stay on task when you really lay it out. You know what the goal is, other than just like,
what's the goal? What's the goal?
I can't understand what the goal is of this particular thing because I didn't participate in this event. But from what I've seen, and I've been asking the same questions, is like, what are you protesting, and what do you hope to achieve out of the protest? And I haven't.
Well, hold on. Let's mine this out, right? Let's say hypothetically that John Schwartz, right, the earthy looking John Schwartz guy, is a part of the People's Union. Didn't decide that he wanted to post this. That then we played a game of telephone, and all of a sudden it became a Black community issue, right? Everything become Black. Let's say hypothetically that he didn't do this and that Black people came up with it, and it actually was something that we, was conceived by us, for us, by us, FUBU. What's the goal?
Yeah, I think all things considered would be to, if it was left up to me, I'd be looking at trying to establish political equity.
No, not you. What's the goal of this economic blackout is what I'm saying. From a Black culture perspective, what was the goal? Assuming that John Schwartz never came up with it, why did y'all jump on board, or why do y'all think that people jumped on board?
They were able to sell the Black community a dream that if we just all didn't shop for one day, our $1.3 trillion buying power was somehow going to take away from all of these businesses and cause them to fail within that day. And, much like Jazz had mentioned, even though they have other days lined up, it's still one day at a time, and it's pretty spread out. So it's not a consistent effort. And much like Victor said, it's not consistent, and therefore we cannot measure the actual impact, if there even is one, that comes from it. And so apparently everybody thought that Black people were going to stay home for a day, as if people don't have errands to run, as if maybe that might have been somebody's only off day to go do what they needed to do. But, folks insisted that if you guys just don't shop today, these countries will put some respect on our names, as if them rolling back DEI initiatives was somehow.
As y'all can see, those who get it. Those who don't probably never will. With that being said, we continue to dive into different parties, man. We're partiers. When I say we, I mean the African American culture. We continue to just put ourselves in everybody's boat. And it's crazy to me that you want to jump on everybody's boat knowing that they brought you here on the boat. You'll think that we'll be afraid of water. We continue to keep jumping on everybody's boat. And see, just because I'm a conservative doesn't mean I don't want to see my people do good. That's common sense. I want to see Black people do good. That'd probably be the reason why I watch so much sports, because it's like the closest you get to seeing our people do well is being athletic. Because anybody who does well in a political state, you get yourself a Brian Donald, anything of that nature, that you call him an Uncle Tom. He's a good old boy. He's he wants to be white. Blah blah blah. Like that's what happens. So we'll rather jump from boat to boat, Follow John Schwartz, who you don't even know. People don't even know this man. And what I'm going to do is do a little bit more research about his foundation, because a lot of times we're jumping into items or we're jumping into things that we aren't educated enough about, and it could be funding the man as well. So just something to think about. Hope you guys enjoy that portion. I just wanted to give you a little thought process and hear other people talk about it and give their opinion. And I love watching things that also shows that I'm not the only one who thinks the way I think.